This face here is unforgettable. A 12-year-old girl killed in a Dallas gas line explosion. Now, more than a year later, the NTSB is asking the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to help investigate. Our investigative reporter Tanya Iser has been digging into this case since the deadly home explosion last February. She's live now in our newsroom. And Tanya, this seems to be a response to what Atmos is claiming, that the shifting soil caused those leaks that eventually led to that explosion.
Well, that definitely seems to be pretty clear. That's what's going on here. I spoke to several pipeline experts today, and that's what they say. Today, the statement released by the NTSB says the Corps of Engineers will begin collecting soil samples in Michelita's neighborhood starting Monday. The statement said the Corps will finish lab testing and submit a report by the end of April. The NTSB is estimating it'll complete its investigation by June. And I also spoke today with the former head of the federal agency that regulates pipelines, and he says even if a soil movement did play a part in what happened last year, it was clearly foreseeable since it's well known that North Texas's clay soil is prone to movement, particularly when it's rained a lot. Back to you, Marie.